KFROG. Was your time slow? Did it go by quick? How'd you get through it? Was it hard? Was it tough? Was it rough? All that. For this video, man, I'm going to be telling y'all how I got through my time and the way that I feel time goes by quickly and time goes by slow. Check it out.
Haha, Dom the best. Finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga. Yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around and bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch with a lock. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2 comes violent, first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone, I'm a charger, don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see you ass, you gon' leave airlifted.
What's up, y'all? You already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. And also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Welcome back, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in for this one. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be talking about, to me, what I feel like is hard time, which is tough, which is the worst way to do your time compared to easy time, to compare to what goes by quickly, what goes by slow. I'm going to be telling y'all from the experience of what I went through when I was down here locked up in Florida. Okay, now everybody is going to say something different. You may do your time different than I do my time. Something that makes my time fly like this might make your time drag. All right, and it could be vice versa. All right, now one thing that I do want to make sure I mention in this video is violence. All right. And what I mean by that is 9 times out of 10, people don't want to go to a violent camp, all right? People want to go to a camp that's sweet, laid back, where they ain't got to worry about no inmates harming them, where they ain't got to worry about no inmates trying to rob them. They ain't got to worry about that many fights, that many stabbings, that many extortion incidents, nothing like that, right? That's what 9 times out of 10, I feel like everybody's going to choose. Yeah, if I could choose not to go to a violent camp, I definitely don't want to go to a violent camp, right? Okay, well, 9 times out of 10, when you go to a camp that is not violent, that means that it isn't ran by the inmates. It's most likely controlled and mostly ran by the guards. So them type of camps are hard time, okay? I'm talking about the camps that aren't violent, okay? I know it sounds weird, but I'm going to break it down and I'm going to let you know. Now, when you find yourself going to a camp where there is not that much violence, the guards are on your trail 24/7. Them inmates don't have any type of say-so. Them gangs ain't really running the camps like they normally would if you find yourself at a violent camp. Me personally, from my experience and the way that I've done my time, I found out through my bid that my time goes by quicker when I'm in shit, when I'm involved in things, when things are going down, people are fighting, riots are going down, wars are breaking out, those type of things and them type of places, even though I'm in more harm's way, I like doing my time at places like that because the inmates run the camp. Them guards, they're not writing you up over bullshit, you know what I'm saying? They're not constantly trying you. They actually are more behind the scenes than what's really going on because the inmates, okay? Now, I know y'all think about it like, damn, how's that make sense? So it's harder for Frog to do time at a non-violent camp than it is at a camp that's violent. And I'm telling you, yes, because that shit drags. When you're in a camp where there is nothing going on, there is no type of physical contact or fights or beef or drama or any of that, your time is gonna go by so slow. I'm just being real. But then when you find yourself in these camps where something's always going on, you ain't got time to be thinking about your time. You have things that your mind needs to stay on and focus on if you want to make it out of here alive. Straight up. And it ain't like I only went to one violent camp and then landed at a non-violent camp. Okay? Every camp I went to had some type of violence. Alright? When I was at Calhoun CI, there wasn't that many people getting wet and stabbing and all that stuff. There was buck 50s and shit, but people were physically fighting. There was more bumping, hands-on, you know, tighten me up, you know, all that shit. There was more of that than there was people wetting people up, trying to cut them to the medulla meat. You feel me? Now, that time was hard time. You know, not just because of the fighting, but it was the fun. The fighting was the fun part. I told videos before, we used to have Friday night fight nights where you put your ID inside a canteen bag and the 2 names they pull out got to get on the wall and grid. You know, we used to bet bags of coffees on fights. You know, these things get your mind off of how much time you have to do. You feel me? But to me, I felt like the time was going by, but it was actually dragging. It felt like it was going like at a slow speed, but it was going. You understand? Then when I landed at another camp, which was Charlotte CI, and I seen that people here are trying to flatline you quicker than they are a bump. Once I seen more stabbings and cuttings and people getting hit with locks and wars breaking out and all this different shit, and realized every single day not one incident would occur, but 10 incidents would occur. Every day somebody was getting lifted off the compound. Every single day. No exaggeration. Every single day there was something going down at Charlotte. That's why you can literally go on here on YouTube and you can type in Charlotte CI and you can see all the different videos and stuff they got talking about the institution. You know what I'm saying? Or you could just Google Charlotte CI's mortality sheet. You know what I'm saying? And it'll show it. You feel me? But once I landed there and I seen how dangerous it was and everything we were going, then I realized that time's flying like this. You see? And it was to the point to where I actually could have got transferred, okay? When you first get locked up down here in Florida and you go to the reception center, okay? They ask you if you want to sign up for Pride, which for people that don't know what that is, it's a program where you work on the compound you're at. You work there. You know, you might work in the canteen window, or you might work in a building that puts binders together, or whatever it may be. But they pay you monthly. You get a paycheck from this Pride program instead of just being like all the other population of people who just work for free. So it's kind of a privilege, you know, to, you know, work on the Pride, you know. So of course when you first get locked up, they ask you, would you like to work for Pride? Everybody says yes, hoping that they can get a paycheck each month out of the state while they're doing it, because they're going to have your ass working regardless. So if you can land on the Pride program, you'll get put in a Pride dorm. You might go to a camp that has Pride. Not every camp has Pride, you know what I'm saying? But if you land one and you're at one that has Pride, you may be eligible to do that. And then who would not want to get $50 from them every single, you know, month or whatever it may be? You feel me? So you have that. And then you have another thing called reentry, all right? So Pride, I said yes. Reentry, I said yes. Reentry is where once you get down to a little bit, you know, when you're short timing, I believe it's either 24 months and under, they can actually transfer you closer to home in your region. You feel me? They'll transfer you to the reentry prison, which is closest to where you're from in your region. You know what I'm saying? And reentry, it's still prison, but it's just like they basically try to get you set up for shit before you go home. You know what I'm saying? You can get your CDL license. You know, you can all types of different shit. You know, carpentry, whatever it may be. You can do all this. You could go to reentries, and there's not really that many incidents. Not that many. You know, it's not a real violent institution, these reentries, you know what I'm saying? So I actually got called into classification one time to get transferred when I was at Charlotte CI. At this time, man, I was swanging. I'm talking about, boy, I had so much money coming in and going out. I had so many phones on the pound. I had so much shit going on to where I literally said no. I literally said, nah, I'm straight. I had to refuse. I refused to get transferred to go to reentry. Because when they bring you in there, when it comes to getting transferred, you know, if it's a good adjustment transfer, like each year you stay out of trouble, you can put in for a good adjustment transfer. Okay? And if you get too many write-ups within a year, then you get a negative transfer. You know what I'm saying? That's how I left Calhoun and went to Charlotte. I had a negative transfer. You feel me? Too many DRs, too many disciplinary reports within 12 months put me to where I got a negative transfer. Negative adjustment transfer, and I landed at a negative adjustment camp, which is Charlotte CI. You feel me? But when you stay out of trouble for a whole year, you know, they'll bring you back there and they let you pick 3 places that you would like to go get transferred to. They're going to send you to 1 out of the 3. They tell you to put it down. You want this one, but if that one don't work, you'll take this one. If that one don't work, you'll take this one. You never put the one you actually want in number 1 because you're not going to go there. You feel me? Number 2, they might go with, or number 3. You feel me? So you could pick where you're going to get transferred for that, you know, and then when reentry time comes, you could pick what reentry you want to get sent to, and maybe you'll get sent over there. Me, since I was in such a violent institution and I knew my life was in danger, I knew everything I was going through, but that time was flying, I turned down going to reentry. All right? If I never would have turned down going to reentry, y'all, I never would have got caught up for Kfrogtv and went to confinement at the same camp. and would have been put in the box for 270 plus days, and then get transferred from there to DeSoto, where I ended up getting released from. You see what I'm saying? So I had an opportunity to get out of harm's way, but I knew once I went to reentry, yeah, I'm safer. Yeah, I ain't really got to worry as much, you know, but I knew that time was going to drag. I knew that same time I did at reentry compared to the time I do in this dangerous place, I knew it wouldn't have felt like the same time. It would have felt like this one was flying and this one was dragging, you know, and I chose to stay. You see what I'm saying? So I literally went through this to where I feel like time goes by so much slower when people aren't getting hurt, when fights aren't breaking out, when basers ain't twacking out, when there's people robbing people, all this stuff, even though it sucks to be around it, it does. But your time is going to go by like this. You know, at the end of the day, it don't matter if you're on the compound, it don't matter if you're in confinement, or if you're on the streets. Them 24 hours go by the same exact speed. You understand? We still have the same amount of hours in a day. Literally, you could be across the map, I'm over here, we still have the same amount of hours in a day. But it's all on what you're doing that has your mind off of these things to where it makes it seem like your time is going by faster than someone else's or slower than someone else's. Okay? So me staying in the shit and always being on the scene, getting into trouble, going to confinement over and over again over stupid shit, you know, getting into fights, getting put under investigation. If y'all see my videos before about me going put under investigation, I got put under investigation for all social media platforms, all at different times. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, even Pandora. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been to confinement for all these things under investigation at different times. You see? So when you go to confinement, it sucks. You're back there, it's dragging, it's going by slow. Like, damn, bro, I'm back here for another 60. But by the time you get out, 2 months is gone. That's 2 months you just put behind you. You see? And at the end of the day, you can't change it regardless. Like I said, even if you're in a non-violent camp, you can't change it. It ain't like you're going to get less time because you're at a non-violent camp. No, your ass is still doing the same amount of time I'm doing. If me and you both went in January 1st and we got 5 years, we both getting out in 5 years. You know? If, of course, you stayed out of more trouble than I did, and then you got gain time. I kept getting my gain time taken, which is good days, stuff like that. Then obviously, yeah, you could beat me to the finish line on getting out first. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, the days don't go by any quicker at all, no matter if you're in trouble or not in trouble. But to me, they felt like they went by so much quicker and so much smoother when I stayed in the shit. Because I ain't got time to think about my date being 5 years from now. I ain't got time to think, oh, well, you know what? Today's Christmas. I got 4 more of these shits till I'm on the streets. You know, I ain't got time to think of this type of stuff when I'm constantly going into shit, constantly getting into things. You feel me? But when you ain't getting into stuff, your mind dwells on it. Your mind counts down them days. You'll literally sit there and try to count how many days you got, how many hours you have. You feel me? I remember when I was in there and I had 1,600 something days. You know, like, I'm like, bro, I ain't got time to sit here and worry about this and count about this shit. And then no matter how long you've been locked up, you're going to always remember the day you got arrested. And then no matter how long you've been free, you're going to always remember the day you got out. You see what I'm saying? Everything else, you'll remember this stuff, but it's all just a blur. It's all more of a schedule. You understand? But I feel like if I had the choice right now, you know, even though I've been on the streets for a while now, thank God, but if I had a choice and I got locked up and they told me you can go here, this sweet camp, or you can go here, you know, I'll tell them, man, put me where you want to put me. But in all reality, I know me personally, and I know me, my mindset, I know how I am. I'm a playmaker, you feel me? So I already know, even if they did send me to a sweet camp, a good non-violent institution, I'm not going to fit in because I'm going to end up getting transferred from excessive DRs over there. You see, so it's kind of like I fit in at them other institutions. So when I got to Charlotte, they thought they were punishing me by sending me from this camp that wasn't that much of a violent place to another one. They were thinking it was going to change my bid, and I fit right in. I'm like, okay, now everybody over here is on the same type of time I'm on. You feel me? Because when you're locked up, you're going to hear people call certain institutions sweet Oh yeah, that place sweet. I ain't gonna lie, I just left such and such. That shit's sweet. Okay, then again, this comes back on to how you do your time. What's considered sweet to you may be something that ain't sweet to me. All right, some people will say a camp is sweet because they get to hit canteen and barbershop every single day. Every day they let you hit the canteen window, and rec yards open every day, and the barbershop you can go get a cut every day. So hell yeah, that's a sweet camp. But people may be dying at that institution. It may be real violent, like Charlotte. We hit canteen every day. Rec was every day. Barbershop line every day. People getting wet up every day. You see what I'm saying? Calhoun, they used to buck us on canteen. You feel me? The way they used to run it was they'd go around the compound and be like, A dorm would be Monday, and then B dorm would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, come all the way around. You see what I'm saying? And I was in G dorm at the time. So what they would do is they would buck us a lot. And they would make it to where it would get dark out because they do, you know, morning shifts, afternoon shifts. There's no nighttime shifts for canteen. So by the time it come around on our day for us to go out, since I was in G2, G1 would go out first. They'd go out, you know, during the day before, you know, shift change and shit. And then however long that takes them, by the time it's time for us to go out, we'd get bucked, and we're supposed to be next tomorrow morning. But instead, it was a totally different shift, and they'd start all the way back on A dorm again. So some weeks they would buck us, and the dorm was more fighting and more drama. People owed people money, couldn't pay because we can't hit the window. They're taking it out on the inmate that owes them. Like, if you can't see with your own two eyes, they're bucking us all on canteen. There's no way that man can get you your money when we can't even get out there to hit the window. You know what I'm saying? And people would say Calhoun was a sweet camp because there wasn't no stabbings that often. You know what I'm saying? People got cut every once in a while, you know, but there was a lot of like robberies going on, extortion, you know, and there was a lot of, you know, bumping, hands-on shit. But they'd say it's sweet. To me, that shit wasn't sweet. We got bucked on canteen all the time. And then it got to the point to where the warden would come to our dorm and tell us that he knows that G2 is the whole problem on the compound. He says, that's why I don't break this dorm up, because I don't want y'all to cross the compound. I got all my problems right here. All y'all are the problems. One day I'm going to get tired of it, and buses are going to pull up and take this whole quad. Y'all are going to be gone. Y'all are going to get transferred. Negative adjustment transfer, because all y'all are the problems over here on this compound. That shit was hard time to me, even though it was less harm as far as like with knives and stabbings and stuff, but to me it was still hard time. Them officers make your time way harder than I feel like the inmates do, because at the end of the day, them officers go home. You feel me? Them inmates stay there with you. So them guards can make your time tough and go home. You can't make their time at home hard. Unless you wet one of them up. Wait till he ain't looking and hit him in the cheek with a poker or something. You know? Inmates, an inmate can make your time tough, but you can make that inmate's time tough as well. You see? So it's basically like you go to an institution where them inmates are on that fuck shit. You get on that fuck shit too. You make their time tough just like they're trying to make your time tough. You see? But you can't do that at these non-violent camps because the guards got control of the pound. Care, custody, control, and them officers have it all. They got the care of the compound, they have custody of it all, and they control the compound. You see what I'm saying? When you get put in another type of place, you'll see where guards tilt their head, they put their head down, walk off. They see things going on, and it's just mind-blowing, okay? Like, for instance, check this out. I did a video before on coffee paper. Coffee paper is paper that you cover it with coffee. You color it with wet coffee, and then you smoke out of it. That's what you use, and it burns slow. You feel me? When I was in Calhoun CI, which is in the Panhandle down here in the state of Florida, where I told you the officers ran the pound. It wasn't that violent. There was a lot of fighting and shit. I was in G2, which they called the gangland, but there wasn't no cutting. There was a couple $150s, but there wasn't that many people cutting. So like, when you're known to cut somebody, people look at you like, boy, he'll wet some shit. You feel me? So like, people knew the type of time I was on, how I got down, but there wasn't that many people playing with knives. You understand? So if I go to a camp and I'm playing with knives, and there's only 10 people on the whole compound that are down the wet people, or that have wet people and people notice it, it's only a matter of time to them 10 people get caught up and get transferred to a type of institution where they deserve to be at. So when I finally got sent to Charlotte, when I landed there, the whole compound was on that shit. So now I'm like, okay, now this is where it gets serious. This is where I sit back and I observe. This is real time. You feel me? This is real savage time right here at Charlotte. People are dying. You feel me? Compared to the other shit. That was hard time, but it was just hard because of the guards. All right? Perfect example like I was saying. So coffee paper. When I was at Charlotte CI, which was after Calhoun, coffee paper, I walk in the dorm, officers are walking around during count time, got their flashlights out in the dark when it's nighttime, or even during the day. They're walking around and you got pieces of coffee paper hanging and drying up on everybody's bunk, all in their locker. And them officers walk right by and just continue to count like it ain't nothing. Like they know what you're doing with that. They know you're going to smoke that. They know you're putting something in that to smoke it. You feel me? And you don't go to confinement. They don't really care. Coffee paper was nothing at Charlotte. All right? Calhoun CI, people were getting 60 days in the box over a piece of coffee paper. I'll never forget it. I was in property one day. I got a call out to property because I used to receive books in the mail. All right. So when I get called to property, I actually started doing my first like session of like I was taking some classes and shit like that. I was to do herpetology, which is to like, you know, figure out and learn everything about, you know, amphibians and reptiles and stuff like that. So I actually was having the books come in and everything because I was, you know, taking these classes and shit. So I was standing in line in property, and there was another dude that was in front of me. He was like just getting to the camp, just getting to this institution from wherever he came from. When you first get to an institution, they go through all your property right then and there. So the people that had already been there, we're standing in a line. I'm just waiting to pick a book up. You feel me? I got to come there with my ID, show them, yeah, this is me. And then they give me the book. I sign for it. Boom. I got my book. At this time, there was a dude that just got off a CM. And they were going through his pictures, all through his photo album and everything. And behind one of his photos was an actual single piece of brown paper. Nothing but like this big. That's it. Just a little piece of brown paper. The female officer said, oh, 6180. Book him. They put him in handcuffs. He said, what do you mean? Man, I didn't even know that was back there. Here, he's been on CM probably for 5 years. He could say he didn't know it was there, you know, but even if he really did, the fact was I seen somebody and they called it 6180 for brown paper. You feel me? For coffee paper. When I was at Calhoun, 6180 is what they called brown paper. And the reason for that is 60 days in the box and they take 180 days gain time from you, right? Then, when I got transferred to Charlotte, and brown paper wasn't that big of a deal, bud, marijuana, is called 6180. You feel me? Real bud. So I'm like, damn, bro, that just shows the differences in the institutions. This dude did 60 days in the box over a piece of paper that had coffee on it. You know, and it ain't nothing serious, you know. Like, at that time, they were smoking out of C-fold napkins. Y'all know what those are. Those are the ones you usually see in like schools or in hospitals and shit. It's where it's like this, and then it folds open in 3 ways. They were brown ones. And then you just get a toothbrush, you use it as a paintbrush, and you brush it on there. So he got caught with a little piece like that. At Charlotte, they were painting that tissue that comes around the individual rolls of toilet paper. You know, with the writing on it and shit, they would paint that real good. But the fact is that was savage time at Charlotte. You feel me? It wasn't hard time like at Calhoun. You feel me? At Calhoun, they were giving out CCs. CCs is where, say you get 10 days a month gain time, you do something the officer don't like, he'll write you a CC. And then it takes a couple days away from your gain time. So at the end of the month, when you get your sheet to see if your date moved up 10 days, it might only move up 4. And you'll be like, damn, what? And then you look because you got a couple CCs during the month. You know, little just petty shit like that. They come around and you ain't got your bunk made the right way. You know, you ain't got your blanket with your little cuff, where the way you gotta fold your cuff. It's supposed to be 6 inches like this on the side of your bunk. If that shit ain't lined up, they usually got it painted to where your cuff should line up with that. If that shit's a little bit after that or a little bit past it, boom, CC. You forget, you get up, you tuck the front of your shirt in, one side on the back ends up falling out while you're running around or doing whatever, boom, CC. During count time, they catch you talking. If they don't write you a DR, you're spared, you're blessed. You feel me? So a lot of times you'll sign language. you could be sitting on your bunk during count time, and the officer's sitting in the bubble looking at both dorms, and he'll see you over there signing somebody, saying whatever it is that you're trying to say to them. Next thing you know, when count's over with, they put a piece of paper up on the glass, and it'll have all the bunks written on there that just got a CC for talking during count, and you weren't even talking, you were signing. You see? Or if you had anything on your bunk during count time, any food, any books, any radios, MPs, any clothes, any magazines, you shouldn't have shit on your bunk. They want you to just sit on your bunk like this and don't say nothing. You're not allowed to lay down. You got to just sit there and don't say nothing. Everybody's just sitting in there. All you hear is the clicking of the clock and you hear the AC running. You feel me? Well, it really ain't AC, it's the exhaust fans. Feel me? But and you're just sitting there until count clears. Sometimes they get the count wrong 4 or 5 times. You might be sitting there for an hour, hour and a half. You see? But then they give you CCs. Some camps you go to, they want you to take your locker off the ground and put it on the end of your bunk. On your bunk, on your mattress. They want your locker up there, and your shoes, your shower slides, your Crocs, your boots, your fucking Nikes, or whatever you got need to be on top of your locker. When they walk by, they don't want nothing on the floor in the whole dorm. Yes, don't do that. You're getting a write-up. You're getting a CC. See, like shit like that, that's hard time. But those be the same camps that aren't that violent. You see what I'm saying? So, me personally, even though it's dumber, you know, to go to a place where you are in harm's way, because you never know what can happen. You know, you can literally lose your life in there. Even you could be the wrong person that they're looking for and lose your life. So it ain't like you got to do something to lose your life. You feel me? You could just be in the wrong place at the wrong time and they think you're somebody you're not, or you never know. People get hit up that are the wrong targets all the time. You feel me? So even though it's dumber, but when you're someone like me that needs to be in shit, that needs to do stuff, that can't just sit there, you know, when you find yourself in a spot to where all you can do is sit there, you're trying to do something. And I used to be like, fuck that CC, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm finna sign. It is what it is. Go ahead. I already charged it to the game. I already knew I was going to lose that shit before I even started signing. I'm just being real, you feel me? Because at the end of the day, they're so petty. Them non-violent camps are so petty. And they be the same people that go to them petty-ass camps and they'll judge prison. They'll judge prison off of them going to such a sweet-ass institution. And when I say sweet, I mean non-violent. And they'll feel like that's what prison's like. They'll be like, man, prison ain't what everybody says it is. You feel me? Prison ain't what you think it is. I went to prison, ain't nobody try me. Yeah, because you got sent to a sweet-ass camp. Literally, that's what it is. Because I've seen people who are known for trying people, who are hard, that ain't soft, get tried. You see what I'm saying? So all it is you can't go off of just one thing. But by me being at both types of situations, me being at places that was ran by guards, and then me being ran places that was ran by inmates, and then even when I left Charlotte and got transferred to DeSoto, when I got sent there, bro, and they ain't have all these wars and shit going on, and I ran into one of my dogs from Charlotte, told him, what's up, where the phone's at, where the bangers at? He like, Frog, this ain't even that type of camp. Once I started doing that, my last like 90 days in prison, when I was at DeSoto, a brand new camp, I was like, this shit is dragging. I feel like the 200 something days I just did in the box flew by compared to my last 3 months. Because when I got there, the guards ran that shit. People were scared to take risks. People weren't really doing things that they was doing at Charlotte. You know, when things would happen, I'd call it out of my mind what's going to happen, and it wouldn't happen. At Charlotte, you know what's going to happen. When somebody plays like that, you're like, oh yeah, he's finna get wet. Watch, as soon as the doors pop, I already know they're finna wet that boy. You could peep the energy. You know something's going down. You know something's off. Something's wrong. You feel the animosity in the air. You know, boy, something's wrong. You feel the tension. You know, and you peep it, you know, oh, watch out, something's gonna go down. And then sure enough, you move, you see two or three people jump on some one person, start wetting them. Man, at DeSoto, they wasn't doing none of that shit, bro. So it's like the beginning of my bid was bumping. Straight bumping. More fights than there was wetting people up, a couple $150s. But the time went by slow when we weren't bumping and weren't betting on fighting, weren't doing Friday night fights. You feel me? It was going by slow as hell because the guards ran the compound. Then I went to Charlotte. Total opposite. Yeah, you getting fights and shit, but 9 times out of 10, it's a knife fight before a punch is even thrown, or after the fight, it turns into knives. It either starts with knives or it ends with knives at Charlotte, regardless. You feel me? Either we gonna bump and then the knife's gonna come out later. Someone gonna feel some type of way that we fought and they gonna try to get me, or someone gonna try to get you. You feel me? That's how it goes. Or either as soon as the argument starts, knives are drawn and the knives just take place off rip. You know what I'm saying? Inmates ran that pound. That right there was a totally different ball game compared to what I was going through at Calhoun. Then when I finally left there and went to DeSoto, my last main camp, that shit there put me back in the, where it wasn't no bumping really, wasn't knives, none of that shit. It was just even slower than it was when I was at Calhoun. At least at Calhoun, you know what I'm saying, everybody was like trying to make, you know, something out of nothing. It was trying to make it to where, you know, shit, well, we ain't got nothing to do. Let's do Friday night fight nights. Let's put this shit together, boy, and bump. Let's get it over with. Let's have some fun, you know. But DeSoto, watered down. I swear, it was so watered down. That was one of the hardest times possible. So for me, I feel like the more I'm in the shit, more violence, the more shit going on, the quicker time flies. But that's what the comment section's open for, y'all. If you've been to prison before, you know, drop it in the comment section. Let me know your opinion. Let everybody watching know your opinion. If you feel like you rather go to a camp that's non-violent, shit, that's cool for you. Put it in the comment section. Let people know why, though. You feel me? Because you're going to feel like you're really doing the time. You know what I'm saying? You're going to feel like that time's doing you as well when you're in these places where there's nothing going on at. That time is going to feel like forever. Because y'all know how it is if you've been locked up before. A week feels like a month. A month feels like a year. Years feel like damn near almost decades. You feel me? So you know how it is. You feel me? But if you're someone that, you know, you think, you know, you rather go to where it's like a violent place so that time's flying by, you know, keep it real and drop that shit in here too. That's what the comments are for, that real spill. But anyways, y'all, I'm going to wrap this one on up. I just wanted to share it with y'all because I know I get a lot of comments from people that want to know how I did my time. Did it go by slow? Did it go by fast? At the end of the day, it went by. You know, regardless if it was slow, fast, no matter where I was, had some fast times. No matter where I was, had some slow times. But I had more fast times because I was in that fast life. I was in that getting into shit 24/7, you know. But at the end of the day, it's gone. I can't get it back. I can't. It's gone. I made it through it. You feel me? So that's all that really matters, you know. But no matter where you're locked up at, when you're locked up, you're locked up. You're out of sight, out of mind. You're going to have females shitting on you. You're going to have homeboys crossing you over. You're going to have people not sending you money. People not writing you. People not showing up to Vizzo. You're going to have all that. That comes with thugging. You just gotta, you know, prepare for it. Be ready for it. So you're not shocked when it happens. So you don't feel like it's, oh my God, the whole world's changing on me. Man, you lock it in and you know these things before you put yourself in that type of situation. And next thing you know, you'll see it coming before it happens. I'm telling you. But anyways, y'all, I'm gonna wrap this video on up. I appreciate y'all watching. Like I always say, y'all already know, man, make sure you hit that like button on the way out if you didn't hit it when you first came in. And like I always say, keep them rat squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wanna be island boys, people with fake golds that rent rims on cars, man. Man, 2022, man, we ain't financing no rims, man. We are not financing no rims on no cars. What I look like financing a car and then financing rims on it too. What, man, fucking Rent-A-Center rims, man. What I look like, man, a clown? But anyways, y'all already know, man, it's the one and only. I'll catch y'all next time, man. Frog.